Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Can you all hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up in the chat? Make sure we've got it. How about my guys in the green room? Can you all hear me in there? Mike, good. Okay, because it looks like Mike's muted microphone there. But anyway, listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in today to Digging Richmond. We've got an awesome group of detectors coming on board. The Copperhead metal detecting. They've been out and about doing their thing, and they've got some amazing finds for us to look at and talk about. And they've come a long ways today. From what I understand, they walked 10 miles up this hill shoveling 3 feet of snow today. So we are really, really lucky to have them on board and with us and telling us their stories for us. So without further ado, what I want to do is I want to bring these guys in here and let's get going. There we go.
Yeah!
All right.
Hey.
All right.
Hey,
How's
Frank.
everybody doing?
Yeah, we're doing great. How are you?
Good. Everybody's good? No feedback for anyone?
No
Nope, can you
feedback
hear
from
me?
me. What are you guys?
Oh, perfect. Oh, yeah, everybody's looking good too. I mean, you guys, with all that snow back east there, I'm thinking, man, it just, you're looking good. You're not sweated. You're not tired out.
Hey, that's one of the perks. I live in an apartment complex, so they're actually out there shoveling right now, and I'm sitting in the comfort of my own home just getting to watch them
Oh.
suffer while I stay warm.
Oh man, I couldn't believe it. Like, I mean, last night I was watching the news on here, and there was some poor guy walking waist deep in the snow up this road. I couldn't believe it. I mean, you guys get snow. I thought we got snow in Canada, but you guys get snow back there.
Yeah, and the stinky thing
There's
is
a
now we
lot.
don't get to detect.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, maybe look for cell phones and things that people have dropped in
Yeah,
the
I
snow.
suppose, I suppose so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got about a foot down here. Joe, where did you end up there in Connecticut?
Joe,
Uh-oh. We can't hear you, Joe.
are you there?
Hello. Wait, can you guys hear me?
Yep, we got you. Yep.
Yeah, we can hear
Okay,
you, Mike.
cool. That mute thing was weird. What you were talking about before, Frank. So I wasn't sure.
Okay. Joe, are you hearing us?
Hear me?
Hello, Joe.
There you go.
You say something? No, we can't hear you,
No.
Joe.
He's got too much snow. He's packed in.
Oh yeah.
Soundproof.
So you can't hear him.
No, we can't hear Joe, so he's gonna maybe turn up his volume there a little bit. But yeah,
YouTube censored him in advance.
yeah. So my first question to you guys is: are you all living close by to one another, or are you just living quite a ways away from one another?
So I'll take it since Joe's all muted. So Mike and I literally live probably 12 minutes away from each other, Mike.
I think if you're rounding up a little bit, I think it's about 9. On it.
Yeah,
Well, when
we are very close. Mike just purchased his house, and he wanted to get closer to the field, so he moved out further towards me, so we could go out hunting together.
Okay.
But Joe is up in
Can you
Connecticut.
guys hear me yet? Hello?
There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yep.
Hey,
we got you.
I don't know what happened. I have no idea. Anyway, 18 inches, Trey.
Oh, 8. Oh my
Oh
God.
God.
That's crazy. It's
And then my plow guy didn't show up last night or yesterday, so I was out doing 2 driveways, my house and mother-in-law, so about 12 o'clock this morning.
Man,
No.
oh man. I'm
Yeah.
I'm like Trey. I live in a condo, so everybody else does the shoveling for me now. So it's the only way to go. But yeah. But anyway, that's too bad. I mean, it's just hopefully it subsides a little bit for you guys, and you're able to get out and get around. But it's nice to see you. And my next question is who was the influencer that got you guys going into metal detecting? Let's start with Joe.
He's sitting right in the chat right there. His name is Trey Crawford.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. The story goes, we both work for a Toyota, and he was my district manager, and he would come in babbling about this metal detecting stuff all the time, and kind of thought he was like really gooberish, and used to tell him to get out of my office. I don't want to hear about this stuff, and I made the deadly mistake of going out with him one time, and that was the end of it.
And you got hooked on it.
I got hooked.
Oh yeah. And you, Mike? How about you?
So Trey and I both work for Toyota, catering to people such as Joe, and Trey got me into it as well. He's a bit of a viral infector of the hobby, if you will.
Yeah. So Trey, you're a real influencer of metal detecting.
Well, I tell you what, I just never stop. I never shut up, and I never stop talking about metal detecting. So it's gonna hook on to somebody.
Yeah.
It's either gonna annoy somebody or hook on to somebody,
Yeah.
And luckily, I got Joe and Mike involved.
Yeah, maybe it's that salesperson in you that so you're able to really do a little bit of persuasion with people. So.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. I don't know.
It definitely worked. I can tell you that.
Well, that's great. Yeah. It's just, I'm just going to stick this right in the middle of us here to some of the comments that are
Hey,
coming.
Marlon, how are you, buddy?
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice to see. We've got a really good group of people out there. Let me just bring up a few. We got the Mellyman 24, Brooklyn
Hi, Mike.
Treasure Hunters is out
What's
there.
up, Mikey?
Treasure Woman,
What's
all the
going
way
on?
from UK.
wow.
Metal Detecting War Relics. We've got nice group of guys out here, and Mayor Videos, and he was on your channel the other night.
Yeah.
Marlon came on. Yeah.
That was a cool thing
That was
you
quite
did.
the story he had.
Oh yeah. I mean, those operations are just they're horrendous, to get it. I'm crossing my fingers I never have to. But that was a cool thing that you did, Trey, to bring people on as kind of a surprise. It's I think it's a cool idea. I'll probably do something like that in the future too.
Yeah, I got to give the credit to Joe. It was the day of. It was yesterday, and we were getting ready, and we're like, "How should we do this? We're doing the giveaway. What should we do?" And Joe's like, "You know what? We're gonna have a lot of people in," and he was like, "Let's just bring them on." And we're like, "Well, I don't know if that's gonna work," but then we went with it, and then it turned out to be an awesome idea. So Joe, I got to give him all the credit in the world. He brought that up.
Thank you.
We went with it. So. It was fun.
Yeah, no, it was. Like I was watching it, and actually I went into linked onto that link, and I was going to go in, but I thought, okay, I'll just let everybody else get in there because we're going to be talking, a couple of days later, so I didn't want to take.
There was a bit of a queue too.
Yeah.
The biggest surprise was DK popping on. That was a surprise.
Yeah, that's cool. For him to come in there and do a little bit of chat with you guys. Yeah, wonderful. So my next question is now, do you guys all use the same machines? Are you all Garrett, just like a Toyota? Are you all Garretts?
We're all Noxes.
Okay, so what do you have, Joe?
Yeah, Nox 800.
Okay, you're Equinox. Okay, and Mike, and what are you?
Nox 800.
Okay, and Trey?
I'm the cheapskate. I went with the 600 instead.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you guys had Garretts. You were using Garretts, but you're all Equinox people.
Yeah, all my lab.
The Garrett.
Oh, okay. Then you were able to answer the questions at the beginning of the stream, didn't you?
I did see.
I was like, oh, okay.
Search modes. Yeah, I like those.
That was kind of neat.
It's funny you brought up the search mode question. I was counting on my fingers. I was like, park, field, gold. Yeah, or yeah.
Yeah. There's some cool things in there, and I think I had done a little video, these little shorts, and I don't know if you guys have tried them on your stream, but sometimes you'll get 400 or 500 people all of a sudden looking at this 30 to 60 second short, and I've had some good. I see people are trying them on the metal detecting channels now, so I don't know, give it a shot. But I did a little video on resetting just the search modes, because a lot of times you'll make a change on the Equinox, and you might have messed something up, and so what people do is they've been rebooting it. But you can actually reboot each search mode, just the search mode, and not do everything else. And not many people realize that.
The semi-global settings, right?
That's right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's nice that you can keep some of those, keep them on, change them up individually, and not have to deal with it. Although I will say, I personally forget, and then I'll switch modes and forget that I'm not in the same exact mode as I was. Maybe it went going from, say, Park 2 to Field 2, and I'll assume it's just for going from Park 2 to Field 2. I'll assume Field 2 is in all the same settings. When it's not, it's just the last time I use that setting, whatever it's stuck in. But it is super awesome to be able to individually change those up.
Yeah. No, but I even use that individuals where I save one mode there, and I kind of switch back and forth sometimes in there. Now, are you guys all updated with the latest firmware on there, or do you have different? Yeah, okay. And you're having
all updated.
Yeah, okay. Because some people complained about that.
It's been an interesting experience, I think, right? I mean, I think that pennies, the variety of different pennies that are out there, not large cent pennies, but pennies, right? Mm-hmm. From an Indian to a Zinkin and everywhere in between, a Wheatie, I think the range on that has kind of skyrocketed, and that's
absolutely
not like we're not digging those. But that being said, you could really ID some of those individual pennies by their VDI and tone. And I was in 1.75, and now I have a little bit of a tougher time.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I mean, I've really noticed. Our Canadian currencies and coins are really different than the U.S. You guys have a pretty consistent alloy mixes in your coins, but Equinox finds pennies like unbelievable. I mean, I find every year, with the different amounts of copper in them that we have in here, it's just a penny hound. Yeah, it's just. And I thought, oh man, is this all this machine ever finds is pennies? Until I started playing with the settings.
I questioned that too, Greg. I questioned that too.
Oh dear. Okay.
Those are the coins that people are willing to drop and not go back for at that point, right?
Yeah,
The penny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
and Mike asked about the 4 hertz, the 4 kilohertz setting. I haven't used it yet, but I know Joe, you tried it out last weekend.
Yeah, I was using it out on the field last weekend, definitely.
Okay, so
I tell you
what were you looking for with that, Joe? What were you?
Well, the rumor was you can get super deep, and we've been to this field numerous times. So I figured why not go deep and see what goes on, you know? I mean, when I dug a button at, almost 11, 12 inches, that first dig? So
yeah,
Trey's like, wow, that was a deep hole.
Yeah.
So it worked.
Yeah, I think, I've noticed that too on machines a lot of times is sometimes it goes really deep. It must be just the composition of the soil that'll make the difference, because I usually use the multi. I'm a multi, and then for a while
the thing about that is that I went back to multi and couldn't hear it. I only picked it up in 4.
Is that right, eh? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, well, that's a good, good trial that for people to know about, in there. So, now, are you guys have been trying any other detectors out?
I've been through a few.
Yeah. What is kind of maybe under your Christmas tree this year? Anything new?
No.
Oh, his wife will tell him.
Yeah. I went from an AT Pro to what else? They get Simplex to the Amphibio to the CTX, and now I got the Knox. So
okay, so you've got a good selection. So you don't need anything else now. How about you, Mike?
No.
So I started off with a Fisher F44, which is a good machine, but I got too serious into the hobby too quick. Picked up an AT Pro, then wanted more, and then jumped to the 800. So right now, that's really where I'm at. I mean, that machine is so versatile that if I ventured to a different machine at some point, it would be more out of curiosity and learning a new machine more so than thinking that, besides like a pulse induction machine or something like that, right? Because I think the 800 and the 600, they can do it all for the most part. So pretty content there.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think, that Equinox is, and that was one of the things when I bought mine too, is that's what I look for, something that's going to be kind of all around. And it definitely is. And how about you, Trey?
And the good thing, so I started off, when I very first started, I started off with the Bounty Hunter, upgraded to the Ace 400, and then after that, I went straight to the Knox. But right now, I also have a Vanquish, and then we've also tried the Apex out as well. Mike and I had given it a try, and you know what? We were talking about those small setting changes you can do on the Knox, and that's why I think the Knox is such a long-term machine, because it's easy to use. You can turn it on and go.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You can go a setting and be fine. Or you can tweak it and fine-tune it and do what you need to do that fits where you're at and how you like it, and get really in-depth with it, especially if you buy some of these books out there. I know Mike's been reading one of them. Which book did you get, Mike?
I have the Andy Sabish book.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I've been trying to just
good stuff in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredibly informative and eye-opening on some of the stuff, and it's a lot of stuff that if it's just every once in a while type deal, you don't need to know. But when we get into it, and we're even just talking, working with Trey, we talk so much about it, and we get into that minutia and that fine detail about the machines, and we always want to try new things out in different settings. So that book is really, really useful, and just understanding the machine overall.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's always the biggest thing, is to make sure you can do it. And I see on forums, people will, say, oh, I just got a Knox. Now, what should I do with it? I always say, hey, just use the factory sweatings.
Run it straight up.
Work great.
Yeah.
You can get out and find lots of good stuff. So straight up. So.
I mean, and I think that there's a lot of settings, quite honestly, that are more for personal preference than so specific performance. Now, there are those performance settings, right, and changing your frequencies and your ground balance and all different things like that. But then other things like 50 tones or 5 tones, or, just certain things like that, where it's like, okay, what are you more comfortable with? What do you like more? I've grown to love 50 tones, but I thought I was in love with 5 tones before really diving into it. So there's a lot of customization that you can offer. And again, with the semi-global settings on that machine, you can really save some and switch back and forth pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, have you guys done any customizing to your machine, like shafts and things like that?
Oh yeah.
What did you put on?
So I've got a buddy who's got a 3D printer. So I've got a custom. He 3D printed a new arm cuff for me. I didn't break mine. I just wanted to try something different. I like to think I'm too muscular for the standard one, so I need a little bit more space. And then
that was funny.
But then I also have a couple. I have a fold down module. I have a collapse or a disconnecting module piece, and then I have the carbon fiber shaft and some coil clips and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah. Joe,
I see Marlon. Marlon said I like my shaft the way God made it, but brother, get a carbon fiber shaft, man.
Oh yeah. Oh,
you gotta get a carbon fiber shaft, especially like in situations where you're using the 15-inch and it's adding a lot more weight. The carbon fiber shaft actually makes a lot of difference when you're swinging all day. It takes the load off.
Every ounce matters.
Yeah. No, it does. You know, I mean, these shafts and I'm probably senior to all you guys here. So, and my shoulder hurts when I do it for any length of time. And then when I switched to the carbon fiber, it reduced it by I think about 40%. It made a difference. I could tell right away. I could be out there longer, swinging that, and not have the pains. So.
Even if you're out there for 15 more minutes because of it, that could be the 15 minutes that gets you the next bucket lister.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We know that.
So are you guys close by to beaches for beach hunting, or is it just farms and
none of us? I don't do much beach. I've only done a beach once.
We're very close, but we don't do a lot of beach.
Okay,
Not very close. I mean, within an hour drive to the nearest beach, but we got a lot of history around us. And
I guess that's it for you guys. You've got that history, so you don't need to get out and practice on the beaches. I
mean, now with the snow on the ground, it might be the next stop, though.
That's true.
You never know. Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, it's. I like the dirt hunting myself too. Going through the forest and I'm always envious of you guys back there with the things that you find. So, anyway, so the question I have is, what is the craziest thing you guys have found? The absolute craziest. What's the craziest thing you found?
I don't know.
The reason I asked you that is because I went out detecting in the forest and I came up with a thong underwear with 2 little metal clips at the end. That was the craziest thing I've ever found.
Well, somebody's running around in the forest that night.
I will tell you, if we're gonna go that route, I go back home every year. My parents live in Kansas City, and there's a big park where they do like concerts and stuff like that. But in like regular times, it's just a big field. Mm-hmm. And I went back in detecting. I went back in the woods, and there was it wasn't a Barbie doll. It was a inflatable doll in the woods. It was just sitting in there. So it was not metal. I did not find it with my metal detector. That was a surface find.
You didn't see anybody running away from there, did you?
Luckily, no, except me. I ran away from it.
One time, Trey and I were hunting with my dad and my godson in a random spot that we got in my hometown, and I found it was a no longer functioning DVD, but the pictures on the top of the DVD, I like to say I didn't show my godson that. It was nice and lewd, and it's who knows when you're throwing out your explicit DVDs out the window.
It's not just that. I mean, I had this last summer, my daughter and grandson came down, and we wanted to go for a walk along the beach. And the beach that I usually hunt, we were walking along. It's a pretty rocky area, but it ended up to be a nude beach. So all these people are all hanging out, as they say, along the beach, and I'm going, oh my God, and I was thinking, oh, what kind of granddad are you, but my daughter said, don't worry about it, Dad, it's just, so, but so things happen, unexpectedly.
Absolutely. You never know what you're going to stumble upon.
Yeah, no, for sure. Now what is on your guys' bucket list? Yeah.
Honestly, I need some Spanish silver. I don't have any, and we went out to PA, and I said I was going to find Spanish silver, and I was kind enough to let Joe find it instead. And
yes, thanks, Mike. Yeah. I appreciate that.
He swung over the and walked past it. So
yeah,
for me, it's something gold, like a gold coin probably is right up there. It's funny because Joe found one of the ones that are high up on the bucket list. You know, it's some sort of military plate, like a buckle or a plate.
We've got some photos to go through after. But it is cool to get something. Gold is always, especially that like the Spanish would be cool. So I mean, you guys on that East Coast, I guess you have the French, you have English, you have the Spanish. And what else do you have over there that?
Pretty much everything.
That's pretty much Charlie's. So you've got a little bit of everything there. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is like when we talk about it on stream all the time, it's like, especially when we have people from the Midwest or from other spots that aren't as lucky as us. Our history is so in depth. I mean, you go back to. Native American, where we can find, arrowheads and tools and stuff like that. Obviously not with the metal detector, but I mean, our treasure hunting is boundless over here on the East Coast. We can find pretty much anything.
Into 1600s and
yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I know. I guess that when you guys were walking around the fields, I'm sure you're probably seeing some little bits and pieces of arrowheads that the natives have left behind there, or have lost in the past. So, have you found any arrowheads?
We try.
And
we haven't found anything Native American yet.
Yeah.
We go down to PA with PA and with PA Pirate Paul, and they find numerous ones that fields we go to, and we haven't found any yet.
No, it is that is kind of a cool thing, because I've seen that too, where some of these guys are just walking through and one after another just picking them up in these fields, so it's
I did find a 1700 surface copper though, with that was with the detector, but that
you did.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
No arrowheads though.
No arrowheads. Oh yeah. So another question for you guys is, and I want to start with Joe. Joe, what was your first job? What was your first job?
My first job?
First job, yeah.
Ooh. I worked at a gas station pumping gas.
Oh, yeah, there you go. So that made you the man you are today, didn't it? Working out there and
yeah, well, I ended up joining the Marine Corps right after that, so I guess so.
Well, the Marines usually make a man out of you pretty quickly too. So
that's what happened.
Yeah. How about you, Mike? What was your?
Working for my neighbor, mowing lawns, and then doing pool maintenance and installation, stuff like that. So, all fun sorts of outdoors, kind of landscaping stuff.
Yeah, entrepreneur-ish type things.
If the job was across the street, it was a difficult but okay commute at that point, and then we just rode from there.
And Trey, what
There's
about you?
Crocker getting to work.
Yeah.
Although I have the pale complexion, I was actually a lifeguard as my first real job.
Stop! You were a male stripper.
Well, that was a little bit after. I had to be old enough. So at 16, they saw my body around the pool and they recruited me. That's all I gotta say. I was a lifeguard. I did that for a couple of years, and it was funny because I'm not a good swimmer. Like, I'm an okay swimmer, but I'm not the greatest swimmer. And when we got in the pool, you had to swim 10 laps back and forth to get certified. And I almost drowned myself doing that.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of responsibility for a young person to be, doing a lifeguard. That's great. Hey, listen. Okay, so I'm going to move on. I'm going to bring up our little slideshow here. Let me just go to that. Hold on. And we're going to, where to go? Here we go. Okay, so let's start off here. And I guess
who are those guys?
Yeah. Who are those guys? Yeah. So let's start off with this 1814 Liberty coin.
The
Pretty
baby.
shiny. Pretty shiny.
No, that's because I cleaned it and I got yelled at for doing that. But that was my friend.
Oh.
That was my first ever silver found was that coin right there.
Wow. Yeah.
And some people never find that coin, so that's what's
right,
crazy.
yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
So that kind of has a piece of my heart right there. Yeah.
Yeah. So talking about that, so which one of you guys is the luckiest when you go out detecting? Who finds everything all the time?
Usually Mike.
Mike? Is he? Okay. Yeah, I guess.
I was talking to Trey about this a little bit ago, and I do well consistently. It's usually not anything crazy, but it's consistently decent. So I'll take that every day.
Joe's been on a hot streak lately too. Joe's been on.
I guess I would be the lucky one these days.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I mean we've got some photos coming up, so it definitely, So let me go to the next one here. It is. I guess this is the front side of that coin or the back side.
Yeah.
That's the back side. Yeah.
Yeah. So was this really crusty or?
It came out black.
Oh, really? Okay. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you did do quite a bit.
That was found in PA with Charlie Harley and PLA Power Paul and us.
Okay. And so you're not supposed to do anything to these coins, Joe? Is that?
Well, that's what they say, but since it was my first coin and I was so antsy because I wanted to see how beautiful it was, I cleaned it and got yelled at.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it's mine, so I don't really care.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're not going to get rid of it, so it's. But I like the shiny part of it too. I mean, it looks like a cool coin to.
Oh, that was it. I mean, that was my first. I have it all framed up and pretty and all fancy stuff on it. So yeah.
Now,
I was to find another one. Would I clean it? No.
Yeah. Okay. So now we've got another one. It looks like the COVID virus here almost.
That's one of those. That's one of those feel lovely New Jersey coppers that we find at the field that we go.
Okay. Okay. Wow. And that was
that was actually found with my simplex, about 12 and a half inches down.
Wow. Okay. That is something.
And those are tough to find. I mean, it's crazy how much. Part of our bucket list is a New Jersey copper. And I know, Mike, you had it on there for a while, but they're tough to find. But our group has found, I don't know how many recently. We've found
more than 10, I think.
5 or 6. Oh, is it that much?
But it's just special. We're in New Jersey. It's good.
Well, I think with people,
it's good to have her.
Yeah.
It's good to have our state's history right there. They minted it here, and we could go to the exact spot or one of the many spots that they minted it and, figure it out. And there's a guy on Facebook. What's his name? Is it Dan? Don Hartman.
Oh,
and he's doing research on it. And every time someone finds a Jersey copper, you send it to him and he can do pretty much any kind of identification of the styling, the mint, the rarity, that sort of stuff, which is really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to have.
I also heard when we were at that Boyerton hunt that they were restamping over old coins on those coins.
Really?
Yeah.
There's another coin underneath it, and you just restamp it.
Wow.
Yeah, there's like a couple hundred varieties of a coin that was only minted for 2 years, from 86 and 87. It was just those 2 years before we hit.
It was 50s, wasn't it? What year were they?
No, 86 and 87.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, between when we used foreign coinage and when we had our own federal mint and stuff like that. So, only 2 years, but a variety in between there.
Okay. So this one here is another one. It's a little blurry. I guess the photographer moved or something, but
that's the bucket lister I just got at Boyerton 2 months ago, a month ago.
1764.
I was all by myself.
Yeah, that's older than all of us put together.
Right?
Oh,
that also was my first Spanish silver ever.
Oh, okay, yeah. Wow.
That coin actually is in pristine shape.
Yeah, it does look pretty cool, So, and that's the thing about silver. It stands the time, the wear and tear, and the dirt and the rust and the water, and So it just might thin out a little bit from overusage from years gone by. But yeah, it's cool to have the silver. And you always
if you look at the edge, it's all reeded around the edge, and it's like flawless all the way around.
Yeah. No, that is a cool thing to have.
Yeah, it's
for
a
sure.
great coin.
Yeah. No. And then we've got this one here is just kind of another cool find, isn't it?
Amazing find, yeah. To this day, I still can't believe I found it.
Yeah. It's, like when you find something like that, Joe, I always wonder, like, how did that person lose that? Because that's a big thing to be. You drop something on the ground in a coin. Sometimes in the grass you don't miss it.
The funny thing about that was found in Connecticut. Trey and Mike were not with me. I was able to call them, and they were able to share the live dig with me because I threw the plug right down as soon as I saw it.
Yeah.
I was so excited. It's a farm in the next town over that's 328 years old, and the name of the farm has never changed. So I did a little bit of research, and there was 2 of the last name killed in the Civil War and buried in the next town over. So there is some of a link to it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to ask the home. You know what I mean? I don't want to go to the homeowner and say, "Hey."
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. And then I just wondered, is there a photo of the back here? That's the cleaned up one. That's the cleaned up version of it. Okay. So, and how was the back on that? I don't have a photo on the back, but
it's actually very good. I just scraped because it's lead backing. I just scraped off a little bit that was hanging up, and I coated the back of it with Elmer's glue and water mix. Mm-hmm. So
now is that made of lead, or is it some sort of other alloy?
It's lead on the back and bronze on the front. Copper bronze on the front.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, that is a cool thing to see. And find. Wow. But it looks like that on the bottom here, I
did not do that.
Plow or something had done that.
Yeah,
that was. Well, the funny thing is that I was already in the area where I found that, and wasn't spending any time there. And got fed up and just walked away. We were just about to leave the farm, and I went to myself, you know what? I think I'm going to go back down to this area. And I found that silver thimble and mercury all within 5 feet of each other underneath the oak tree.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a 19 signal. I don't dig 19 signals. I just don't.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I guess, again, being circular and being that size, you probably get some pretty good tones and signal out of it. So that's what I've always found. Anything that's round.
Yeah, like I said, though, I don't usually dig that weird signal.
But you know what? I've noticed that in the past, too, is I've dug things that I normally wouldn't, but there's something in that tone is telling you, hey, this is something good. And I don't know if you felt that, but I felt out a couple of times when I found something really, really kind of a cool thing. It's like going, there's something about this tone. I'm going to go and dig it,
I say that all the
time. The Real was the same thing. I hit the Real. It was a really crappy tone. I took 2 steps and stopped and turned around and dug the plug. I almost walked away from it.
Yeah. Now, again, just to prevent any sort of damage to some of these, do you give yourself a fair bit of a large plug around your pinpointed area, or do you hone in as close as possible to it?
Depends on where we're digging in the field. Yeah, we just rip it up, but in somebody's yard, I try to do the best I can to keep it nice and neat.
Yeah. Because that's the thing is, I guess if you do try to get closer, we could damage some of that. But I'm the same way too. Is I'll try to give it a couple inches around my pinpointed area just to eliminate any sort of damage if possible. In there. So So now this one here. What do we got on this one?
Yeah. So, it was the best trip I've ever taken. I went to the first detectable that they did in the spring.
Okay.
And I went with my dad. I got my dad into metal detecting too. And we were like, you know what? This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. Let's go try to dig. You never know. They said this was all virgin land. There was Roman villas and churches and brothels all around. So
wow.
I think it's about 500 acres, and probably 200 or 300 people. I can't remember. They actually dug a hoard up that day of I can't remember how many silver coins. 500 silver hammered coins and 20 hammered gold coins. But I actually dug this I dug my first Roman coin. I dug a couple of those that day. And I had no idea what it was. I thought it was a cool piece, copper or tin or something that someone had, obviously done something to.
Yeah.
But when I took it back, they had people there that would look at your finds and kind of tell you what they were. And it turned out this is a medieval belt plate.
Okay.
I think he said from 1300 AD.
Yeah.
So someone had hand etched that. It looks like almost like a bird or some sort of, pigeon or falcon or eagle or something on the front of it, and that's hand etched in there. It's 1,000 years old, so that's pretty cool. You know,
that is to last all those years. It is kind of a cool thing. Now, when you went over there, did you get to bring your finds home right away, or did they come after you?
So this one is still in England.
Oh, that still is. Okay.
Yeah, so I had to leave that one there with me now. I know this is on live internet, but there might have been some Roman coins that fell in somewhere else that may not still be in England anymore. But for a lot of that stuff, if it's a certain page, you have to go through the correct, avenues. They got to see if it's a treasure or whatnot, blah, blah, blah. My Romans were in such bad shape. You could tell what they were, but, they were pretty bad shape. They weren't really.
Yeah, because I guess that's what I heard. Is a lot of times that people will go over there and they'll find things, and then you end up having to leave it there, and you get maybe six to a year down the road, they'll be shipped to you. Get back. So, but that's another cool thing to find those Roman coins. I mean, man, oh man,
to dig something that's 2,000 years old, it's just a different feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy to think back in the Roman time, someone was holding that in their hand and walking through that field or whatever it may be, and ended up dropping it 2,000 years later. You're the one who finds it.
It brings it up, but it's still close to the surface. It is.
Yeah,
really,
that's the crazy part too.
Yeah. Really, really something. And then here, this is another. Is this? I think this is what they call. Is it a hammered?
No. So this is also a real as well. It's a 1 real. It looks hammered, but it's not. So this is my first Spanish silver that I found, and I actually found this in a yard that was a 1970s home.
Yeah.
And they didn't think we were going to find anything, but the positioning of it was right next to a really old cemetery. And if you do your research, maybe you can, find places like this. So they're like, yeah, try it out. And the first point I found was 1800s, and I ended up digging my oldest silver in America, 1751 Spanish 1 real, and they put a hole in it. So that was awesome. That was awesome. I was shaking a little when I was putting the water on it and saw the silver come out.
Yeah. So. Now, do you think that might have been on a necklace? Did somebody lost it off a necklace usually with the
so they say there's a couple different things that they do with it. Some people would sew it into the hem of their shirts or coats or whatever it may be, to keep it safe, or 2, if they ever were to get robbed, it's not in their pockets or anything like that. It's sewed into the hem. Yeah. Some people wore it like a necklace or something like that, and then some people would nail it to over the door, as a good luck charm.
Okay. Yeah. Huh. Interesting. But that is another very cool find. So and then this one here we've got 1826. Man.
Yeah, that was my first half cent. I was by myself, but it's in once I toothpicked it and got all the dirt off, it's in awesome condition, and the green patina that our copper coins have on them.
Yeah.
They look beautiful when you dig coppers out of the ground like that. And with the 2 with the little swirl on it, I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to go down the States this last year because of this COVID. But my wife and I, we travel quite a bit, so I was always looking forward to get down and do some detecting down there, and I haven't had a chance yet to do it. But I'd love to find something like this. Some of the areas that we go to are fairly old, and so on it's more Idaho, Washington, Montana, in those areas. So I'm hoping I find some of this cool stuff too. But that is a really neat coin. Mm-hmm. And then you've kept it. You haven't polished it up or anything. You just kept it with the patina on it.
I kept it with the patina on it. All I really did to this coin is just use a toothpick and just get all that, residual dirt out of the cracks and crevices of the coin. But
I mean, I use the toothpick too. So that's probably for the people out there listening, that's probably the safest way of going, is to use that little wooden toothpick and get the dirt out, and you'll still show all your definition on the coin and won't damage it. So
yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it works. You take out the dirt and it's gone.
Yeah. Okay, then here we got a handful of.
Oh, that's what it really looked like right there.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was probably, as a group, our best day of metal detecting. And that top right one is the one that you showed of Joe's coin before he cleaned it. So it had that black patina on it.
That's what it looked like. Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So Mike had dug up that tacoed seated Liberty dime in the bottom right.
This one here, yeah.
That was my first seated dime too, so that was exciting.
Okay. Yeah, that's
and
cool.
then that top left one was my second cat bust dime, 1820. Yeah. And that came out in really nice condition too. Yeah. And then so that middle one is actually a half dime, and they're so small. One of the smaller coins that we had minted, and that one, talking about tones, I think I walked up at an angle and it was like a 2021, and Mike was coming at a different angle. I was like, here, listen to it, see what you think. And his was completely different. I think yours might have been a mid-tone from a different
angle. The angle I was looking at.
Wow, yeah. Because I guess it's maybe the size of it, would hit, give you that tone. But that is a cool thing too. So what do you guys do with all your? Do you have this displayed somewhere in your home, or?
Yeah. So for me, I'm trying different ways to display the coins and whatnot. I got a couple displays over here right now, and I'm working on one that's for all my silvers that kind of like suspend them in the air, so it looks pretty cool as they're hanging on the wall. But I'm still trying to figure out the way to do that. But yeah, I got a couple displays, and whatever my wife lets me get away with, I'll put it up here in our office. So I can
dear.
Yeah, we try to clean it. I try to clean them off. Oh, look at that. Yeah.
That's Mikey's find.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that was my colonial knee buckle. Yeah, the ornate design on that thing, it was awesome.
What kind of buckle is this, Mike?
A knee buckle, colonial knee buckle.
So what is a knee buckle? For us novices.
To my understanding, it's where I held your knickerbockers up to your soccer bockers or whatever.
Okay. So
yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I guess they had the kind
of knickerbockers and soccer
pants.
Bockers.
They had short pants and socks and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Actually, the shape of it is pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah, and you know what? It's actually dented a little bit. At first, I thought it was a shoe buckle, but it's not the full. Is it convex or the opposite of convex or whatever? It looked a little bit rounded, but it's actually bent. It would have lain a little bit more flat against the knee, opposed to a shoe buckle, which has that semicircle-ish kind of roundness to it. So I was really excited. It's a small one, and the fullest and most intricate buckle I found, so I was really happy about that.
I really like that. That's a cool buckle.
Yeah.
To have in your possession there for sure. And then we've got another one here. Another coin.
Yeah, that was my first standing Liberty. Trey and I were hunting a spot in the town I lived in up until about 6 months ago. We got in touch with the Historical Society and started working with them, and the house we were hunting is actually, the family has lived on that property or within the adjacent properties since the Revolutionary War. And the woman who lived there was telling us that when they grew up, one of the trees in the house over, they transplanted one of the houses and moved it so that could be preserved. But one of the houses had a tree in which it was historically written that a Revolutionary War soldier died against that tree.
Wow.
The Battle of Springfield took place very close to where, like within hundreds of yards of where I lived in that area. And they have some pretty cool relics there. And we were able to find stuff from, I don't know, early 1800s all the way up through modern, but that was one of the nicer silvers we pulled out that day.
Wow. That looks beautiful. Beautiful shape, for sure.
Yeah, I wish I had a date on there. There's a rough circular. It's either an 8 or a 3 as the second to last digit, but still phenomenal silver.
It definitely. Yeah, you cannot complain finding that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah.
This was the first ring I ever found with my Equinox 800 on the first hunt I went out with.
Okay.
And I thought I had a pipe fitting because as you can see, that thing's probably, maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch in diameter. It's big, and I pulled it out. And as you can tell, I slammed the lesh into the top of it there a little bit. It's a soft metal, but after doing some research back in the early 1900s, at that time, as you can see in the writing, Ted Evans was the tallest man on Earth, and he would travel around with the freak shows in like the 1910s, 1920s, or whatever that time frame, 30s, and they would sell these as souvenirs. So it was just the weirdest ring I've ever found, and it was very cool, very interesting metal, and just a fun find. I haven't posted that anyway. I don't think.
Yeah, no, that is a cool. Now, is it what's it made of? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think it's lead or some sort of lead alloy or something like that. Because it's obviously soft enough to go right in and cut clean with the shovel. And I'm going to be honest with you, it was far back, and I was still learning the knock, so I couldn't even tell you what I remember the VDI coming up with, but it was a solid tone, and I dug it. And
again, I think it's because was that ring complete? Was it made the complete circle?
It's completely intact minus what I took out of it there.
No, I mean, I think that's probably why you get the great tones with that too. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think Mark Thomas was saying here it's pewter.
Yeah, it could be pewter. Yeah. And honestly, I'm used to the older pewter that's flaking, but I didn't even think
Marky was in there.
Yeah.
What's up, Mark?
Yeah, that's possible. It could be pewter because they did use a lot of pewter back then. So that's a cool thing to have for sure. So, and then our next photo here.
Yes. So
cross my palms with silver.
That is right. Silver and copper in the palms. Actually, so that bottom left one, that's actually maybe Trey's hand, but I think those are both our 1724 King George I coppers there, which is my oldest coin to date, and definitely one of my favorites. We were out with Quarter Hoarder and Charlie Harley, Heritage Relic Hunter, and PA Pirate Paul. And we were out on our farm, and that was still pretty early on with my knocks, too, that I slammed that 1724. So that's definitely got a special place in my heart there. Almost the 200 mark on that one. We're getting close, only a couple years away.
Yeah. No, that is cool. And you got the dime in the background.
Oh, yeah, the Rosie came out. Absolutely. We had a good day that day.
Yeah. No, it's nice to see, those a handful of finds that because everybody always thinks when we go out we always come back with big treasures. It doesn't happen all the time. If we get lucky, it's a really good day. And then we've got another one here. This one here,
and that was my Jersey copper, which eluded me for quite some time, especially when Trey and everyone around me were pulling up Jersey coppers left and right. I think probably four came out within the month and a half prior to me finding that, and actually we went to it was a new permission we were at, and it was myself, Trey, a couple other people. Greg was with us, and I dug that Jersey copper right there.
I think we're back up again for now, but okay, anyway, it's I don't know if where we're going.
It's back up.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, we're in bed.
Good.
Okay, no. So anyway, that was a kind of a cool thing to get in there.
Yeah. So finally got it off my bucket list.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the heck happened there, but it's just a little crash, But hey, you guys, it was, it was
it's normal with
much,
us.
Yeah, it's so much, so much fun, and I think the audience has probably learned a little bit more about you guys too, So I really appreciate it, and I just wanted to. I've got one of my overlays here, and I wanted to show. I've got some stuff coming up in the future. We'll be in Sodbusters is going to be the next group that I have for on board, and they're out of Idaho in southeast Washington. They hunt in that area, and they've got some great finds too. And then after that, I have the Nugget Journals out of Arizona. And he's into nuggets, and he's got quite a he hunts the desert a lot, so he's got a assortment of machines also. And then I have Japan Treasure Hunters, and those guys they've won a couple awards for their YouTube channel, so they'll be an interesting group to have on afterwards. But yeah, so. But anyway, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys have any out in the chat world? Is there anything you'd like to know about the Copperheads? Put it in the chat, and let's see what
Mark, keep it PG. Keep it PG, Mark. I don't know if he's still in there or not.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah.
Nancy said, "I will always see Trey now in his Baywatch swim shorts."
Yeah.
That'll blind you, let me tell you.
Right.
Yeah, these guys out there. But no, like I say, I really appreciate your time and hustling home from work and everything for you guys. And I'm going to let you guys go here. And I'm just going to continue on. I've got a little mail call that I'm going to do, and then I'll wind up the stream. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Mike. Thanks,
Frank.
Trey. It was just fabulous. Awesome. I look forward to having you guys on again, and I'll watch your channels coming up. So I'll be on your live stream soon too. So thanks very much, and we will chat with you guys later. Yeah, and I'll continue on with my mail call here.
There we go.
Thanks,
cheers. See you
Happy
guys.
holidays.
Bye, guys.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Hello. Okay, I'm just going to continue on. I've got a mail call here to do, and I've got from Digging with Deej. She sent a card off, and so what I wanted to a little Christmas card with a little deer in the snow, kind of a cool thing, and she's got may the beauty and peace of the season be with you and always, Deej. So thanks, Deej. And she's also sent some stickers for me here, and I've got what I'm going to do is I have one of my. So what I'm doing is let me go over here. Is I've got a frame, 16 by 20 frame that I put the stickers on, and they'll be framed. So I just thought of a way of doing it. I've got a couple Digging Canuck. I got Detecting Smiths, Metal Sharks, one of mine, Wish Me Lucks, the Pack Rat. So if you've got any stickers, send them off to me and we'll post them on here for you. But that's what we've got so far. And let me go back to my main
soon.